that they were noble. The lady, you may be sure, was not the less interesting on that account. What a fascination a title exercises upon the imagination! I do not mean on that of snobs or moral flunkies. Superiority of rank is a powerful and genuine influence in love. The idea of superior refinement is associated with it. The careless notice of the squire tells more upon the heart of the pretty milkmaid than years of honest Dobbin's manly devotion, and so on and up. It is an unjust world. But in this case there was something more. I was conscious of being good-looking. I really believe I was, and there could be no mistake about my being nearly 6 feet high. Why need this lady have thanked me? Had not her husband, for such I assumed him to be, thanked me quite enough, and for both? I was instinctively aware that the lady was looking on me with no unwilling eyes, and through her veil I felt the power of her gaze. She was now rolling away, with a train of dust behind her wheels in the golden sunlight, and a wise young gentleman followed her with ardent eyes and sighed profoundly as the distance increased. I told the postilions on no account to pass the carriage, but to keep it steadily in view, and to pull up at whatever posting-house it should stop at. We were soon in the little town, and the carriage we followed drew up at the Belle Étoile, a comfortable old inn. They got out of the carriage and entered the house. At a leisurely pace we followed. I got down and mounted the steps listlessly, like a man quite apathetic and careless. Audacious as I was, I did not care to inquire in what room I should find them. I peeped into the apartment to my right, and then into that on my left. My people were not there. I ascended the stairs. A drawing-room door stood open. I entered with the most innocent air in the world. It was a spacious room, and beside myself contained but one living figure, a very pretty and ladylike one. There was the very bonnet with which I had fallen in love. The lady stood with her back toward me. I could not tell whether the envious veil was raised. She was reading a letter. I stood for a minute in fixed attention, gazing upon her, in vague hope that she might turn about and give me an opportunity of seeing her features. She did not, but with a step or two she placed herself before a little cabriole table, which stood against the wall, from which rose a tall mirror in a tarnished frame. I might indeed have mistaken it for a picture, for it now reflected a half-length portrait of a singularly beautiful woman. She was looking down upon a letter which she held in her slender fingers, and in which she seemed absorbed. The face was oval, melancholy, sweet. It had in it, nevertheless, a faint and undefinably sensual quality also. Nothing could exceed the delicacy of its features or the brilliancy of its tints. The eyes, indeed, were lowered so that I could not see their colour, nothing but their long lashes and delicate eyebrows. She continued reading. She must have been deeply interested. I never saw a living form so motionless. I gazed on a tinted statue. Being at that time blessed with long and keen vision, I saw this beautiful face with perfect distinctness. I saw even the blue veins that traced their wanderings on the whiteness of her full throat. I ought to have retreated as noiselessly as I came in, before my presence was detected, but I was too much interested to move from the spot for a few moments longer, and while they were passing, she raised her eyes. Those eyes were large, and of that hue which modern poets term violet. These splendid, melancholy eyes were turned upon me from the glass with a haughty stare, and hastily the lady lowered her black veil and turned about. I fancied that she hoped I had not seen her. I was watching every look and movement, the minutest, with an attention as intense as if an ordeal involving my life depended upon them. End of Chapter 1. The Room in the Dragon Volant by J. Sheridan Le Fanu. Chapter 2. The Inn-Yard of the Belle Étoile. The face was, indeed, one to fall in love with at first sight. Those sentiments that take such sudden possession of young men were now dominating my curiosity. My audacity faltered before her, and I felt that my presence in this room was probably an impertinence. This point she quickly settled, for the same very sweet voice I had heard before now said coldly, and this time in French, "Monsieur cannot be aware that this apartment is not public." I bowed very low, faltered some apologies, and backed to the door. I suppose